It's the ghost of Christmas.
Christmas. It's full of traditions we all know, share and love. From adorning our front rooms with a tree festooned in fairy lights to leaving a mince pie out for Santa on Christmas Eve. But what about some of history's more unusual and forgotten traditions? Well, I decided to find out. This is Lessons from History, how to have the happiest Christmas.
I go back in time, and learn some history.
If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.
It's Christmas time.
I love that. Hello and welcome to the Christmas special. I'm Lauren and this year I want to find out if any of our old and abandoned traditions through history should make a revival. Indeed, could bringing any of these traditions back make for the best Christmas yet. So I've invited round a group of very knowledgeable history friends to help me. Together we're going to be testing out some old and unusual traditions you may never have heard of. We have Kat, Rosie, Katie and Juliette. And we have a very special guest joining us today, Beauregard. Bye.
Oh, she's a good girl.
She's
a good girl.
And first up is Katie.
Okay, so my tradition comes from Saturnalia, which was a favourite festival celebrated by the Romans, and it was in honour of their god Saturn, who's god of farming or agriculture. So it's essentially to celebrate the end of a good farming year, and it began on the 17th of December, and gradually things just grew and grew, and it ended up being sort of incorporated with the winter solstice on the 25th of December. So everyone had time off at this time of year, even slaves if you had a nice master, and they would hold massive public feasts and parties and celebrate all together. Some of the traditions we get from there are you would gift each other tiny little pottery figurines, and you would greet each other by saying Yo Saturnalia, which just means hurrah for Saturn. But my tradition is slightly different, so I'm gonna head off and set that up for you. Okay, so one of the games they would apparently play during Saturday was bobbing for corks in ice water, I'm afraid. So we're gonna have 30 seconds and we're gonna give it a go.
Is the winner the person who gets the most corks out?
Yes.
Although Saturnalia predates Christmas, its proximity to the 25th of December means that many of the traditions we now associate with Christmas find their roots in Saturnalia, including candles, wreaths, food and drink, and presents. Wow, Juliette is a cork bobbing machine. I think that may be a new world record.
I think it went okay. It was a lot more fun than I expected. I think we enjoyed it. I thought it was going to be really horrible and cold, but it was okay.
Great. Do you think everyone's going to include it in their Christmas?
I'm not sure really. It depends if they like apple bobbing, I suppose, on Halloween.
Okay, so time to vote. The Saturnalian tradition of bobbing for corks in ice water. Would you add it to your Christmas this year? Yes or no? Yes! Oh, we want one, yes! Yes! I definitely would. That was so much fun.
Yeah.
Kat, why would you add it?
I think it's always fun to do something that makes people look slightly ridiculous. And sometimes you just need people to cool off a little bit too. So
It's hot in these Christmas jumpers.
It's hot in the Christmas jumpers, perfect.
Yeah, anyone else?
I love any competitive game I can win.
Yeah, great fun. Loved it. Thanks, Katie.
Thank you.
So, next up we have Kat.
Yes, we do. And my tradition is thought to originate from the pagan period. It sees people visiting their neighbours, maybe going door to door, maybe visiting their orchards. It's about wishing health, about wishing renewal. There's lots of singing involved. And so, with that being said, I'm going to go and get things together. The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue, the lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue.
What are you doing?
Warming up, obviously. Massage the face. Getting ready for my big moment. Here we come a-wassailing among the leaves so green.
It may look and sound like Kat is carol singing, but this is actually wassailing. You can tell by the bowl she's carrying. Wassail bowls were often made from a heavy and hard wood and were decorated with ribbons.
Happy New Year. Perfect. Now we all have our warm, spiced beverages. I can tell you there's another verse to the song that I came in singing that I think explains this tradition pretty well, and that is, we are not daily beggars that go from door to door. We are your neighbours' children who you have seen before. And for the very poor, it became an act of charity. So you could go from door to door and you would have your bowl filled with a nutritious drink, with food, or indeed with money. But the tradition is that the person who is serving you would say the word wassail, which means to your good health, and you would say drink hail, which means I drink so I'm healthy. So I'm going to give you the shout and then you're going to respond like a cheers and drink. So we go wassail, drink hail. Yay! And it sort of seems like it overlaps and gets replaced with Christmas caroling. But once again, people go from door to door and frequently they ask for money, usually for charity. I think it went brilliantly. I'm really happy with the way my song went. That was a hit for sure. Everybody liked the drink. I think the bowl looked good also. Really beautifully decorated. Really proud of myself. So, yeah.
So it's definitely going to be included in everyone's Christmas.
I think if anybody has taste, which I think all my friends do, they are for sure going to include it.
Okay, so we're on to the voting for the tradition of wassailing, going from door to door, wishing your neighbour good health and drinking to their health.
And singing.
Would you add it to your Christmas? Yes or no? Oh, nearly. Rosie, why not?
I just don't really like leaving the house around Christmas time.
Fair enough. Would you like anybody to wassail to add to yours though?
What's up?
You're welcome to come to mine and do it, but I will not be leaving to do it to you.
Oh, you could be the lady of the manor with your own wassailing bowl. Yeah, that's what we'll do. That's what we'll do.
I like it. It's jolly. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a good drink.
Yeah. Well, there you go then. Winner.
Okay, so next up we have Secret Santa.
Ooh.
So a few weeks ago I set you all a challenge to find the most unusual or interesting gift from history. Let's do this. Let's go by the tree. I've set them all up by the tree.
Oh,
Let's
right.
go,
Okay.
let's go. Let's begin with Cat.
Oh, it's a slinky. Excellent.
Okay, so this is the part of the game where we're changing the tradition to not so secret Santa, because obviously we want to know why and what the history is behind this gift. So, Secret Santa, reveal yourself.
It was me. So the Slinky. So around 1945, it was created by accident, actually, by James Richard. Oh, she's off. Completely by accident, because he was making springs and he noticed how it fell off of a shelf and kind of like coiled and bounced and how it was really fun. And then it was eventually put, into department stores to be sold around Christmas time. In 1945, it got wildly popular for Christmas time that year, and everyone had to have a Slinky.
I love it. I can't wait to see it go down the stairs. I have to see it go down the stairs. Okay, so Juliette, go for it. Give your present.
Rocks?
Yeah.
Was I on the bad list this year? Naughty list?
No, so it's not coal, you're okay.
Okay.
It's called Westminster Souvenir Stone. So in the war, when the Houses of Parliament and the Houses of Commons were bombed, shops took the rubble from the sites and remade them into like miniature buses or bookends or even faces of famous people. And they were then numbered and stamped by authorities because the money from sales went to the Red Cross and St John's War Organisation. So it's a really lovely thing that came out of horrible rubble.
Now I feel bad for joking. No,
That's
thank
lovely.
you.
That's lovely. Okay, so my turn. Okay, here we go. Oh, this is very lovely. This looks very historic, and on the front it says Christmas 1914. Quite beautiful. Okay, Secret Santa, reveal yourself.
That's me.
Oh.
So it is indeed from 1914, and the person on the front is the Princess Mary, who is the Princess Royal. And these boxes went to active duty service personnel, both at land and sea, and it then rolled out to their families, those serving both at home and abroad. And it would contain various things. So if perhaps you happen to have a rather unpleasant habit of smoking, then it would contain tobacco or cigarettes, but they also offered an option for people who were making better choices and not smoking, and they would send them stationery sets so they could write home.
That's really lovely. That's lovely, and this is an original. That's lovely. Thank you. Okay, Katie, go for it.
Ooh. Oh wow.
Wow. Okay, Secret Santa, reveal yourself.
So that was me. So this is the Kodak Brownie camera. So it was one of the first commercial cameras. The first one was released in 1900 and they were sold for $1. So they were hugely popular and they were marketed towards children. And I think the first model, over 100,000 were sold of them. And then in 1927 they released the 2C model, and that was just as popular. So it was a great way for the ordinary person to become involved with photography.
That's amazing.
Wow.
That's amazing.
So it's equivalent to about $33. So
Oh,
kind
that's
of
still good.
even cheaper than a camera would be today.
Yeah.
So that's a great idea.
That's amazing. I love it. Okay, Rosie, open your present.
That's so cool.
So cool.
I feel like
That's me. It's me. Okay, this is a thermotrope. So, do you know? Have you seen a thermotrope before?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Well, I shall show you. So this became really popular in the Victorian times. It's really simple. As you can see, it's a disc with a picture on either side. So the one I made, we've got a snow globe and a Christmas tree with two pieces of string as the handles. So when you twirl the disc between your fingers like this, it looks like the Christmas tree is inside the snow globe.
Oh wow!
There we go. So this was one of the first optical illusion toys, and handmade toys generally were really popular, especially amongst poorer families who couldn't afford to buy presents. I thought this would be a really nice one to give you today because it's a really fun, simple craft to make for any kids watching at home.
That's
so great. Okay, so for our next Christmas tradition, we have Rosie.
Yeah, so my Christmas tradition is going to be based around Twelfth Night. So Twelfth Night is commonly celebrated on the 5th of January, sometimes known as Epiphany Eve, and the tradition I'm going to show you is from the 1500s, and it was part of the 12 days of celebration after Christmas because everyone loves celebrating. So this is a 12th night cake. Inside of this cake there is a bean, and we're going to cut it, and whoever gets the bean will be crowned the Lord of Misrule or the King of the Bean. So I'm going to pass the cake round, cut yourselves a slice, and once one of you gets the bean/pea, then let me know and I'll give you the crown, and you will be in charge of entertainment and games for the rest of the evening. So no pressure.
Oh no.
Thank you.
Some people do still carry this tradition on today, but it's generally now a coin, which in hindsight would be a lot easier to find.
I got it.
Yay! So you get the crown. So you are officially Queen of the Pea, we'll call you, or the Lord of Misrule. So you have to plan the rest of the entertainment and games for this evening. So I think mine went well, but we did struggle to find the pea and it was quite messy. So maybe next time we'll make it a bit more obvious just to save all the mess.
Do you think it'll be included in the Christmas?
I think so. I think it's a nice way to have someone who can make some games and some mischief later on.
Get your paddles at the ready.
Thank you.
12th night cake. Finding the pea/bean in the cake. Would you add this to your Christmas this year? Yes or no? Oh, half and half, just about. Katie, why would you add it?
I just like the idea of being the Queen of Mischief. I think that's quite fun.
Yeah. I also love eating the cake, so any excuse to eat fruit cake. I love that. Why would you not?
It requires the purchasing and probably the eating of fruitcake, neither of which I want to do.
Right, next up is my tradition, and for this one you're all going to need, where did I put them? A Christmas sock. I'm going to tell you why in just a moment, but let me distribute these socks.
Do it hand them on.
Oh, yeah, good. Okay, so I have a Victorian parlour game. Now, parlour games were extremely popular, and perhaps surprisingly for the Victorians, the very serious Victorians, they often involved some close contact, and it might involve some kissing, and some of them could even be a bit dangerous. For example, there was one game called Snapdragon, which involved dipping your hand into a bowl of brandy, which was set on fire in order to get raisins out of it. But don't worry, we're not playing Snapdragon or any games that are involving kissing today. My game is a variation on the game Blind Man's Buff. It's called the Bellman. Now, what I'd like you all to do in a moment is to use your Christmas socks as blindfolds. Just a side note here and a disclaimer. Christmas socks were not used as blindfolds in the Victorian times. That's my added addition to the game. I will not have a blindfold because I have a bell.
Right.
Now,
You've worded this one out, right? Fair enough.
I'm going to move to different parts of the room as the bellman, that's me, and I'm going to ring the bell. When you hear the noise of the bell, I'd like you to charge to the noise.
Oh no!
Yes. Oh. I'll tell you when the game's starting.
Oh dear, this is going to hurt.
I have to admit, I thought they'd be a lot better at it than this. I was beginning to wonder if they'd ever find me.
Okay, Bo's getting upset, so I will stop the game now. We can let Bo regard you and come back. I mean, it was chaos, wasn't it? Yeah.
You could call it that, yeah.
Yeah, which made it so much fun. I mean, I'd have it in my Christmas. Would you have it in your Christmas?
Yes, definitely.
There we go then. End of day, everyone starts to get sleepy. Bring out the bellman. Okay, so my Victorian tradition of the parlour game, the bellman. Would you introduce this to your Christmas this year? Yes or no? Go. Yes. Kat, why not?
Because I don't want to spend Christmas, Boxing Day to New Year in A&E with a concussion.
So much fun. What about if you were the bellman?
Then someone would run into me and I'd still end up in A&E. I am clumsy and I'm afraid.
Right, so we're on to our last and final tradition. Juliette?
Yes, so with my tradition, it will be not too long ago when this actually started back in America. It will be back from 1996, and my tradition has something to do with unwanted Christmas fruitcakes. So, but for that we'll have to go outside. So we'll have to get our coats. Okay? All right, so for my Christmas tradition, as you know, I am American. This tradition did come from Colorado, and the tradition is a fruitcake toss. So if you turn around, we will be having a little friendly competition to see who can toss their fruitcake the furthest. So, I can start off if you want, just to demonstrate. So,
Show us how it's done.
All right. Oh, I'm gonna try that this
It was time for my big moment.
Alright, Lauren.
And I choked under the pressure.
Well, we should probably pick this up because there's a dog and we don't want to feed them, so
Yeah.
probably get those and then head back inside because it's cold.
Let's do that.
I think that went pretty well. I think people always have a bit of fun throwing something, especially if it's food. I'm a little worried that people over here would rather eat a fruitcake than throw one, to be honest.
Right, so the fruitcake throwing competition to discard of any unwanted fruitcake from Christmas. Would you add this to your Christmas this year? Yes or no? Go. Oh. Kat, you're the only one. Tell me.
Well, I wouldn't buy any fruitcake, so there wouldn't be any to throw away. And other cake, I'm not throwing that.
Yes.
What if someone gifts it to you?
They will not be my friend anymore. At that point, I'll be throwing the friend.
Okay, so might it surprise you that I've gone with yes because I love fruitcake?
You do.
Yeah, I do. I've gone with yes because I had a lot of fun throwing the fruitcake, but I'm going to add on my own amendment to this tradition, Juliette, that the packet should be kept on so that we throw the fruitcake and then you just get to eat the fruitcake afterwards. So anyone who does want the fruitcake gets to eat it. Oh! And that's time for our quick fire round. Paddles down, everyone. Okay, so I have planned weird and strange traditions from all over the world you might not have heard of. I'm going to reel them off really quickly and I'd like you to vote with your paddles whether you would add this to your Christmas this year or not. Are you ready?
Yes.
I'm not going to have a paddle because that would be too difficult. Okay, go. From Mexico, Night of the Radishes on the 23rd of December. Everyone carves sculptures out of radishes and places them in the city's plaza before taking them home and using them as centerpieces at Christmas dinner. Yes or no? Yes, yes, no. Right, okay. From the 12th century, France, the Feast of the Donkey. A donkey would be led in a procession through the centre of the town to the local church. The donkey would then join the church service and everyone would mimic its bray in a call and response with the priest. Hilarious. Yes, please. I would definitely have that. From the Netherlands, writing each other St. Nicholas poems, which are poems designed to poke fun or tease. As each adult unwraps their gift, they will have their poem read aloud. Yes or no? Okay, right from Catalonia, Spain, the pooing log. So each family has a log on Speak quiet. Has a log on their table. The log has the log has stick legs, a smiley face, and a floppy red Santa hat. Every night until the 24th of December, children are tasked with feeding the log and keeping him warm with a blanket. Then at Christmas Eve, everyone gathers around the log and hits him with a stick until it poos out sweets. Then they burn the log for warmth. Yes or no? Yes. Yes! Great. And that, everyone, concludes the end of my Christmas party. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you in the new year. Bye-bye. And on that note, I've actually got the pooing log. So, I've put this here, everyone. Okay, he's got a Santa hat. He's falling up. I'm sorry.
Of Christmas past, come to bother me. I told a lie, go back in time. I wonder what I'll see. Wonder what I'll see. Oh yes, it's the ghost of Christmas past. Why would you leave me be? Just here. I'll go back in time. I'll go back in time. Learn some history. Some history. It's the ghost of Christmas. I'd go back in time. I'd go back in time and learn some history. Oh yeah, it's Christmas time.